This is excerpts from The Stonemasons from 7 Stars to Morning by Francis Brabazon. Then the sea met me, and I became entangled in 1,000 strands of foam. A fresh entanglement? Yes, which binds to freedom. So we built an altar on the edge of the white sands, 4 square to the winds, and laid thereon burnt offerings of our flesh, and the smoke of our sighs rose as a song of praise in the sharp greyness of the morning. And having acknowledged all these, I turned toward the companion of my soul, she, my lovely dawn, and secretly exclaimed, "O awakener of my soul to singing and swift flight, frail and immense, from whom December wheat fields take on the weight of harvest, for whom the yellow box trees in March display their blossoms, seeking to match the lustre of your hair, envious of the bees which swarm within the curls, seeking harvests of Sadhguru's pure word. Oh, the immense well of God in your breasts! The least movement of your hand orders the migration of bird flocks. The pure light of your eyes fans to tremendous delight the blaze of my soul. And the light moved toward itself, and penetrated and enveloped itself, and we arrived at another morning." And leaving the margin of the white sands, we climbed a hill overlooking the ocean, above all possible reach of tides and storms, and began quarrying stone to build a house, hammer and wedges and a bitch with a brace of pups with sharp teeth, she the heart and I the hands in the matter. For journeying is not in rites, but in labour. The perfume of love is not an opiate of forgetfulness, but a wine of encouragement. Not a curtain of sleep, but a woven cloth against the inclemencies of weather. And with the first blows of the hammer, the silence of the stone's dream was shattered. And the silence looked up and met my sweetheart's eyes, and the bitterness in our blood awoke and cried sweetly against the annihilative process. Stone does not know greed. Stone does not know anger. Stone is patient and long-suffering, but runs quickly to lust. Lust is the sadness of stone, which morning finds weeping. Lust is a mean-ribbed fellow who cannot stand laughter. Spring him a good round tale where there are no corners for him to hide under, and he is easily discontented. Lust is a stone blotting sweat from the face of the sun, which should by right of the earth belong to the grasses. There is dry land in the heart of this continent, flint and stone, so one would be likely to lose one's life anyway if one attempted the journey alone. And to expect God, unmanifest, to concern himself with one's small affairs is as foolish as to wish to go alone. This is a physical plane, and here the means are also physical. Sadhguru is none else but God wearing a human form. One can wait for someone else. One can wait at the gate for 1,000 years or so. But the Sufi is one who says, if you have courage and sense, get up and take a step. Then God will take the next. Love says to us, I will send you pain in order to mature you, as I matured you even from a rock through all the varied forms to human shape. First you were nothing. Then I gave you the partial understanding of stone. Broke your clinging to that by feeding your breast with craving for movement, and with pain you grew, sweating your nerve joints for easier communication. Then I infected a little more love juice in your sap, so that you broke your roots from the ground and began your wandering. Since I have mentioned my lovely dawn, I ask her pardon for disturbing the grass in Central Park. I ask her pardon for disturbing the ants where I am building a road into my house. I build a road that Sri Sadhguru may one day visit me. Will God's feet walk over the graves of the least of his creatures? I became heated with activity. I forgot the lessons my dawn has taught me. I forgot her delicacy and coolness. I ask her to forgive my blindness in the light of her eyes. I ask her to hide my clumsiness in the shadow of one of her curls. I ask her to teach me the dance of her feet. I ask her to teach me the communication of her hands. I ask her to teach me the flight of her brow. This is a path which everything in creation is striving towards. Yet it is a path of no reward, in which the lover gains only knowledge of his insufficiency. We have labored for ages to build a citadel. Now we are told to pull it down stone by stone, open a fresh quarry and build another house. Now what does Guru do? He brings about a tumult in the breast which generates the power to open the gates for tears. Then to dry the flood, he lights afresh the fire of passion, sets a cooling fountain of chaste vision to check the downward flow of consciousness, and direct it to that place called heart, where one awaits the homeward feet and knock. He says, see, I have made you of earth and sent you floods and fire to make it purely fruitful. With fire you can destroy yourself entirely to ashes if you wish. But this fountain, showering its diamond drops, can quench a pathway for your feet. But who wishes to take this path? We are faithful unto the image of our imagining, until the bolt of life strikes hard, and pain is a surgeon's knife to the umbilical cord of our attachment. But Guru's glance can do the job instead. The ignorant man says, I will not bow my head. Let him look straight at the sun, and his neck will bend quickly. I am master of my fate, he cries. Aye, even to the axeman's block or hangman's noose. But the wise man voluntarily sticks his neck out and avoids death's blow. It's murder getting up to go into the stone quarry after 6 hours sleep. The body says, my God, what have I done that you so treat me? Stifle its complaint in an upturned bucket of water and stretch each muscle gradually in the still, cool, rising sun. Then breakfast of porridge and toast and a good swill of tea. Pick up the hammer and into the quarry. The first blow stings the arms and back like a smart cut with a whip on the surprised flanks of a plodding horse. But Sunday will come, a supine Sunday. No visitors, thank you. So I was saying, my body complains, but because of a stray curl, my forehead smiles. My brow is a dreaming stone, but because of a girl's laughter, my eyes have become the birthbed of flowers. My eyes are dimmed with weeping, but because of two red lips, my own mouth has become most sweet. The light streams across pure contours of her face, brightening the day and illumining the path of our union. This song is nothing else but God speaking. To my sweetheart, in the most intimate terms, he can accumulate from the stone dust of this quarry. This alone is my proof of his existence, and that in her amazing ear he encourages the gradual articulation of a tongue. God has made me black, but he can whiten me if he will, and white on white to lose myself in my dawn. Tears are the only means of melting earth, and pain is a hammer to break a heart into building blocks for a house that will contain the beloved's voice. Oh, brothers, break your own prisons. Instead of crying for the comfort of companionship in your cell, open your hand so that the bird may take flight and freedom. Then invite your heart's love to trust her hand in yours and follow that bird's amazing trackless flight. Go buy a walling hammer and a bitch pick. Drive your line of wedges across the center of the block so the resistance of the mass breaks itself. Board it and divide it again. Dress and pitch each stone, making your hammer at each blow spell Guru's name. Oh, brother, if you would hold within your hand that which is fair and imperishable, take a hammer and open a quarry in your own heart. The business of cutting stones will make your hands sensitive to fragileness. With the sweat in your muscles will evaporate many attachments to mine. Mine stands between you and the object of your desire, but the open hand is reverent and holds not the bird of another's soul. The true lover is he who would bruise his own hands in helping his beloved break the bars of her own cage, even though it be of gold and seeming pleasance. A golden cage is still a cage. A closed fist contains nothing. Open your hand and find your treasure there. A glass slipper in a stonemason's hand? And who better than a stonemason to hold in reverence that which is most fragile? His gentleness is a reward of his labor. The pain of the stone being split and of the fibers of his muscles being tempered by the stone's resistance. Therefore, as Rafferty said, his gentleness is without misery and grasping. The beloved is a pathway unto love, and it is only love which can make a pathway to the beloved. In this way, there is no room for bargaining. It is only love which can turn a stone heart into a diamond reflecting light. By now, the stone was coming out in smooth blocks, translucent as water, albeit streaked here and there with pale crimson. And there was a murmur on the face of the stone. And I cried, "Is it possible for blocks of stone to sing? Is it possible that Sadhguru intends his song to be uttered in this land?" And my hammer dropped from my hand, and I hid my face in my beloved's dress. And returned to quarrying, and a light streamed from my eyes and met the struggle of stone seeking release, and milk poured from my fingertips, softening its pain. Stone has no voice, only a dream of sound in the dome of silence, so it will keep your secret. So if you quarry stone and build a house, and close the doors and whisper your sweetheart's name, no one will ever hear about it. Only she who lives in your own ear. Stone is a dream seeking hands to give it articulation. Stone is a voice buried underneath sorrow. Sun is a hammer forging the diamonds of morning. Dawn is an accommodation which contains the dream. Stone is a boundary defining its own limitation. Stone is a cradle where sleeps the infant God. Sun is a man who shattered my self-containment. Dawn is the woman who wrapped my pain in her breast. Come. If we were to stay by this flower's lip another moment, we would forget our duty. The sun has risen and bids us to work again. Wrap my sinews in your perfect heart of love, so that the hammer blows fall softly in this heart of stone. This is an excerpt from The Birth of a Nation by Francis Brabazon. Now has come the moment of joy in this land, the moment it has waited in woman waiting through the ages, the moment of Baba and the touch of his feet on her earth, and the seal of his glance to her sun-adoring eyes, and the rivers of his silent word to her thirsty lips and the cry of her soul. Now has come the moment of joy in our hearts, and the leaping in dance of our souls in the steps of his feet, and the breaking of bonds of our hearts, and our hearts breaking into laughter of flowers of love and gratefulness, and our souls surge no less than the ocean in the direction of his glory and humanness. Jai Baba.